Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 28. I'll just do the usual checks and cue the music and wait for anyone that wants to come on. So, I haven't got anything really planned, just a few topics to look at and do some research on and see what we can find out. And stuff that you may have not known about. So, just doing a couple of checks still. Looking all right. So, anybody out there? I guess I'll just do a welcome message down the side. Do that now. So, what is it time around the place? That one. I use that date time site, world clock. So it's nearing 1 o'clock over here in the morning. And looks like it's running slow. Saturday, Australia, 11 o'clock. Canada, 10 in the morning. Three PM in Spain. UK, it's 2 PM already over there. And USA, start to be early morning over there, some places, to 9 o'clock, the looks of it. Everybody's probably still in bed over there, sleeping. What is it, Saturday over there? It's Sunday here already. The year's flying past. Hey, I was just thinking, Renee, I think I must have synchronicity, able to connect into your energy, knowing when you're going to show up. You weren't about yesterday. You missed out a good stream yesterday on alien greys. So where were you yesterday? Partying too much? Not sure where all the regular UFO people are. I thought they normally live around the clock, most of them, in the weekend. Don't go to bed for 15 hours straight. So tonight I was going to have a look at about visions and EMF and mind control, whether it's possible. So I was trying to do some research on images in people's heads. You know how people say they see things, but the camera doesn't always pick it up. That's to do with the cross-link of paranormal as well as UFO sightings, I guess, or aliens in the bedroom. It's just going to be a cruisy night tonight, not too complicated stuff. You watched it, did you? A repeat. You had to watch it twice. I think most people just watch the first hour, then they have a break, and then they come back and watch the next hour. So they do go on a bit. So, first result. There's a lot of web page links. You can see already, experiment EMF makes images in brain. We've got a few links here talking about mind control by a cell phone. Now, wouldn't that be scary? 10 things an electric field can do. That sounds like an interesting. Effects of magnetic fields exposure. Skeptical approach concerning the effect of exposure. Long-term exposure to 835 megahertz RF induces hyperactivity. Oh, could explain a few things in kids, I guess. What uses that frequency though? So, can radio waves affect the brain? A new study finds that radio waves from a cell phone can affect the metabolism of brain cells. Metabolic, though there is no evidence that the effect is harmful. So it's like a drug. That could explain a few things why people are addicted to their phones. So that link is from this one here. Cell phone radio waves excite brain cells. NPR. I suppose we better open that link up. See, should understand the sciences of all this because it links into paranormal and visions and alien abductions. So it sounds like EMF should be and radio waves should be actually researched when you go to a paranormal site or a abduction case. There's a lot of fine print on that one. Ooh. Let's see if we can scale up the font. It's very slow. I should install that app that scales it up, probably. Oh, now it's gotten really big. Finally caught up. Oh, it's getting bigger. I should install that app. What is it called now? Solves the problem of using the will. Zoom page WE it's called. Let's install it anyway. Once I do that now, show you how to install it because it's quite a handy little toolbar add-on. We'll get back to the search, I suppose. Make a copy of that. I've got a feeling there was some other thing you had to do. I'm not sure if you know about Chrome having secret settings, but it does have. Let's restart it again. At least I thought I did. Here it comes. Painful. That's why I always preload it first. Paste and search. Those are not going. Oh, slow. Yeah. Yeah. There it comes. So let's set it to 100% now. So it looks like it might be working. So you should be able to click the plus button and scale up. Here we go. It's working now. 120. 150 is it? Makes it easy to read. So, which one was it we were opening before? Radio waves on the brain. So let's see what happens to this one. Oh, I wasn't meant to do that. Oh, I was meant to open up a new tab. All right. Got it. Yeah. That's the problem with wearing headphones. So, put it back to normal size at least. Let's give it a try this time. That's a lot easier. But why's it got the big gap down the side on this side? A bit bigger again, I suppose. Ooh. This useless bit down the side, that doesn't make any sense. That's what I hate with some web pages. Bad programming. Assume listening. I don't want to listen to anything. Was it playing sound before? So, radio waves from a cell phone can affect the metabolism of a person's brain. In a Journal of American Medical Association. So you really want to go to that site. But they probably summed it up. But the effect has nothing to do with cancer. And researchers say there's no evidence that the increase in metabolism, how do you say that? Metabolism is harmful. The human brain relies on electrical signals to communicate, so it makes sense that the electromagnetic energy that a cell phone puts out might affect brain cells. Nora Volkow, Nora Volkow, a brain researcher and director of the National Institute of Health's National Institute on Drug Abuse, says she was intrigued by this possibility for personal as well as professional reasons. Whoa. All the reading. I'm seeing many of my relatives and friends spending hours on their cell phones. That's what I was saying before. It sounds like it's addictive. And the question in my brain, could this have any effect? Some MRI scanners produce electromagnetic fields powerful enough to cause brain cells to consume more energy in the form of glucose. It goes up when you activate your brain when you're thinking, when you're speaking, she says, because you need the energy source in order for cells to function. Wanted to know whether the electromagnetic fields produced by cell phones were strong enough to affect glucose metabolism in the brain cells the same way a scanner can. The team used 2 cell phones for each participant. Oh, geez, I'm going to get tongue twisted again. Participant. One on the right ear, one on the left. The scientists muted the sound on the phones to make sure it wasn't the sound of someone talking. I just wonder if the webpage was playing music or something. The talking that affected parts of the brain. The participants couldn't even tell whether the cell phones were on. Then the researchers activated the phone on one side and used a PET scanner to measure how much glucose was being consumed by brain cells. Volkow says a 50-minute call clearly boosted brain metabolism. There was an overall increase approximately 6 to 8%, but only on the areas of the brain that were close to the antenna. That's kind of scary. She says it's not terribly drastic. So let's skim. Based on the finding, I cannot say it is bad that you increase glucose metabolism. It could be good. It'll be the next thing for a diet control. Strap a big magnet on your head. It makes you eat less and it burns up more calories. Who has previously suggested a link between cell phone use and brain cancers and doesn't necessarily strengthen his case because there is no direct link between increased brain metabolism and cancer. It's still possible researchers will find an indirect one, perhaps involving hormonal changes or the production of molecules known as free radicals in the brain. Such a link is unlikely. So it goes on a bit here. So how many, I wonder if when they have alien visitations or, sleep paralysis, how far away their mobile phones are to their heads in the bedroom. I wonder if that could have an effect. Certainly interesting. There should be some science tests done on this, especially if you're researching abduction cases or you have regular ghost activity in the house. Didn't they say the ghosts drain the batteries as well? So there was a lot of strangeness to paranormal. So that's that page. That was quite a good one. I should have really copied it for you if you want to read it fully. So, do brain cells emit electromagnetic waves? The human brain also emits waves. Well, we know that because it's got brain waves, haven't they? Electrodes. Like when a person focuses her attention or remembers something. This activity fires thousands of neurons simultaneously at the same frequency, generating a wave, but at a rate close to 10 to 100 cycles per second. Signals from the brain are a billionth of that strength. Looks like something got chopped there. School of Engineering. Let's have a look at their link. Yes, this is Google's new way of summarizing bits from top web pages, probably from news sites as well, and science blogs. And what's this one? Education website. My computer's taking forever to load it now. So, with that small font going, so let's try this tool up here. Can brain waves interfere with radio waves? Right, so that's where the other bit of it went. Not likely, brain waves are too slow and so weak they're extremely hard to measure. Radio waves and brain waves are both forms of electromagnetic radiation, waves of energy that travel at the speed of light. The difference between brain waves, radio waves, and other electromagnetic waves, such as visible light, X-rays, and gamma rays, lies in their frequency. That is how often waves peak. So again, we're back to this thing of energy is all around us. We use it, we emit it, we absorb it. And it's all built into the matter that makes us up. Radio waves, which include radio and other wireless transmission signals, as well as other natural signals in the same frequency, peak and trough at between 50 and 1,000 megahertz. So that's pretty high up. That's between 50 million and 1 billion oscillations per second. The human brain also emits waves like when a person focuses her attention or remembers something. That's the bit we read out. But at the rate closer to 10 to 100 cycles per second. So that's way down. Interference happens when two waves of the same or very similar frequencies bump into each other. This might happen when the signals from the radio stations, both broadcasting at 89.7 megahertz from different cities, bump into one another. Rave waves don't interfere with radio waves because they're not the same frequency, obviously. They're so weak they hardly measure at all. I heard stories though when I was a kid that someone had fill-ins and they could actually pick up radio broadcasts along their jawbone. Not sure if that was true or not, or folklore. And they could hear it going through the bones in the skull to the ear. What do you call it? Ear membrane for hearing. That would drive you crazy if you're trying to sleep and all you're picking up was a radio signal from a talk radio all night long. Hang on, I've got itchy ear again. Probably hear my headphones. Right. So, is there anything else there that's of interest? So, let's go through. Magnetic waves harmful? Well, obviously some are, because it's used in a microwave oven. Well, the most acute exposures to harmful levels of electromagnetic radiation are immediately realized as burns. The health effects due to chronic or occupational exposure may not manifest effects for months or years. So what they're saying there, it's possible that you could have a device in the house that could be making you sick and you don't realize. Electromagnetic radiation and health. There's a Wikipedia on it. Oop, I was meant to open it up the other way, wasn't I? Yeah. And it's already adjusted the font back. That's good. But it's moved it down further by the looks of it. So where were we? Let's go click on the bottom one. We're down to here. Lost my way now. Yes, all objects, including human bodies, emit electromagnetic radiation. The wavelength of radiation emitted depends on temperature of the objects. Such radiation is sometimes called thermal radiation. I suppose that's how night vision and IR works, because we're emitting heat, which is, again, electromagnetic wave, which we don't see with our eyes. But obviously insects like mosquitoes do. And also can pick up CO2 from our breath, apparently. So they've got lots of sensors. Where was that link, though? It's giving me a different list of things, hasn't it? Keep on going. What are your thoughts made of? Well, I suppose people are always studying the brain to try and figure it out. What are the thoughts made of? They're really just electrochemical reactions. but the number of and complexity of their actions make them hard to fully understand. That's what I was just saying. Imagine all these questions that keep popping up. All physical reality is made up of vibrations of energy. That's what I was saying about energy. It's all around. We use it and emit it. So this could tie into also, like I was saying, the paranormal side of things as well as the UFO side of things. Could UFOs be coming from what I was talking about in previous lives about the other dimension of energy that Tesla referred to as the ether? Does sort of make sense that it could be, and really people would call that the fourth dimension, I guess. The dimension of energy level, which they tap into it, which they call 0 point, to try and tap into it, then convert it back into normal electricity. Some people call that pseudoscience, but it does look like they're starting to get experiments together where it's maybe true. And after all, we know there's an energy being absorbed that keeps atoms spinning. So all that's yet to be explained. So I lost my link to the other one, but there were some interesting links down here. So let's just have a look. 10 things an electromagnetic field can do. So let's open that one up. Are you still there, Rene, or are you falling asleep? What time is it? I forgot to check on the chart before. Isn't it like 3 in the morning over there? So, tab, trying to. So, how big's the font on this one? Can we scroll yet? Nope, still loading. Yeah, it's pretty small. So, let's scale that one up. It's taking a long time to respond. So, is that big enough? Let's have a look. Oh, that definitely is. It was a bit slow responding. Stuffed up the picture alignment there. Got to be careful because it'll probably make sound. Really, I should just mute it here. And this special, it's going to come up. Loading. Painful. I think it's one of these here. I'm going to use the option to mute. Ah, finally. Painful. Don't know what would be slowing it down. Yes, it's Facebook. I might just close that down a bit on the other screen. I think it might hang up this program actually. Facebook is always problematic with now software. Oop. So, go to speaker. Just want to mute. That's not it. I think it only comes up when it's playing. Just to. Oh well. Let's carry on then. I'll just close this thing so we can get some more speed. That's not responding either. What's this here? Not sure what that is. So much strange. All right. Catching up now. Hang on. I'll be with you in a minute. Let's see. CPU's at 97%. That's probably what the reason. Definitely need to get a better laptop soon. It's sort of affecting the streams now, isn't it? That's why I didn't do streams to start with, because I wasn't sure if my laptop could cope. We have to make do with what we got. So it's all still working. Looks like it. Haven't stuffed up anything. Okay, so let's have a look at the list here. I think it's too big. I might just scale it down one. That seems a lot faster, I think. Yeah, it seems a bit faster. I think it's Firefox that maybe causes a problem. So we all know that electromagnetic fields are magic and can do anything at my time, can do anything at any time for any reason. Okay, it can shred its DNA. Well, it's no surprise that not all the things a high electromagnetic field can do are good. Actually, even a mild electromagnetic field can wreck a brain if it's applied over a long time. I suppose that's where this comes into that, what they call it, radio or targeted victims, as the term rings the bell. Someone claims that someone got a, I remember hearing a story on one of the websites I read, says that the neighbor didn't like him, and he got an old microwave oven and got a parabolic dish and radiated the beams of microwave towards his house or to his bedroom or something. I suppose that could do some damage. So I'll just make it a bit bigger. Makes it a bit easier to read, I suppose. Scientists found that an electromagnetic field applied to lab rats over time with salted and broken strands of DNA in the brain. Not just anywhere, the brain specifically. It's possible that this DNA damage is cause of brain tumors. The reason why people don't just walk around with brain-boosting electromagnetic hats all the time. So there you go. Stimulate its growth. I should post that link. That one's quite a good one. On the side as well. Yeah, have I got the right place? Nope. Now I have. So just magnify it again. Magnetism. It's such a trickster. One moment it's ripping through DNA strands like a pit bull through an old sock. Next minute it's tenderly nurturing the growth of neurons. Scientists found that brain subjected to regular transcranial electromagnetic stimulation for only 5 days showed an increase in stem cells in the hippocampus. I don't think it's anything to do with hippos. I suppose that's part on the brain. This is this is part of the brain that governs memory. What a strange name for a memory part of the brain. You'd think they'd call it like Mega Men or something. Making electromagnetic stimulation a possible treatment for Alzheimer's and stroke patients. So that's a bit strange. So it destroys DNA. So maybe it's a certain frequency or a certain amount of energy that destroys DNA. So maybe there's a sweet point where it actually is beneficial. Sounds like they need to do some more research there. Train you off food and water. Rats, that's what I was saying before too. But put it on your head to control your diet. Rats who had been deprived of water were placed in a strong magnetic field and offered a sweetened solution. Although they did drink, they drank less than those given the solution without exposure to electromagnetic field. The rats were given the solution and later exposed to the field. They developed an aversion to the solution over time. Enough electromagnetism may turn off your favorite food. So what's your favorite food? So many. I bet chocolate's one of them. Maybe you spin in circles. Other rats who have a terrible time of it during experiments like these were found to walk in tight circles under the influence of an electromagnetic field. Scientists think that the field takes out the rat's sense of balance, making them lurch in circles. Lack of balance may also induce nausea. Okay, scroll down. just, can you still hear me? Yep, I think so. Anybody out there? Or am I rambling to myself again? Transcranial electromagnetic stimulation, subjecting two people to strong magnetic fields aimed at specific parts of the brain, is sometimes used as a treatment for bipolar disorder or clinical depression. So, patients find an immense relief in this. Other people who don't suffer from depression have reason to worry about it. Okay? People without any diagnosed medical illness while under stimulation can be relaxed to a state where they can't think of anything at all that bothers them. If that kind of relaxation can induce at will, it could be used to pacify large parts of the population. Ugh, how about that? Energy weapon. So, I've got another one down the side here. Alter your morality. We could play this to hoaxes channels, could we? So, all the relaxation has a price. Sometimes we're meant to fret, for example, if someone is about to cross a dangerous bridge and we are aware of the chance it can collapse, and they aren't. Those without a magnetic field dancing around their brain think that allowing the person to cross the bridge would be not immoral. Those with a field capering through their neurons think that as long as the hypothetical I'm gonna have to zoom it in. Hypothetical person made it to the other side in one piece. There's no real moral problem. Judging the morality of the situation strictly by the outcome makes any crimes worth attempted in their description no longer crimes at all. It takes away a person's intention and bases morality entirely what happens to occur. So it's quite interesting. So the environment you live in can affect you quite a lot, man. Take out your power of speech. Broca's area in the brain controls the ability to speak. Maybe I've got a big magnetic field here because it's affecting me. I'm not surprised. I've got enough gadgets around my bedroom here. A large electromagnetic field applied to the area takes out the ability entirely. Subjects under this kind of stimulation simply stop speaking the moment the field disrupts that part of the brain, while the rest of the functions are unimpaired. One of those functions is singing. One of those other functions is singing. Although many people think that singing words and speaking words are much the same function, the ability to perform each action is housed in completely different parts of the brain. So people are unable to talk will sing perfectly normal. So there you go. If you're trying to scream that aliens are abducting you, try singing instead, maybe. So, fascinating stuff. I suppose there's research papers to all these summaries. Induce panic and fear. Although some kinds of electromagnetic fields applied to areas of the brain pacify people and put them in a good mood, others are said to induce fear. Sometimes people report a persistent, if mild, sense of unease. Others have a more visceral response, feelings of despair and paranoia, sliding into overwhelming terror. Of course, you get that with sleep paralysis as well, eh? You can't move or speak. But they know there's drugs that they give you when you go to surgery in hospitals now, where they don't actually knock you out. They just give you a drug that you can't remember anything that happened. And they can give you commands and have you cracking and doing all sorts and you don't remember it. One of those is when they do endoscopic examinations, they give you a drug and basically turns off your swallowing and what you do, and you don't remember anything. It doesn't have any dangerous side effects, apparently, like other drugs that knock you out. Under the worst circumstances, exposure to electromagnetic fields can cause a number of serious effects in the brain. Studies have shown that it can change the flow of blood in the brain. Man, they can do a lot of stuff with electromagnetic waves, huh? Turn off neuron groups. That's kind of scary. Some people under the influence of high magnetic fields have caused people to have violent seizures and even lost consciousness, slipped into coma and die. God. This is one of the reasons why houses under high electromagnetic fields. So those houses that are under, those high power lines might actually be dangerous. I have ghost stories associated with them in conjunction with the deep feelings of unease. Mystery, seizures, and death start all kinds of rumors. So if you're doing a abductee case, you'd have to check outside and measure the all EMF field all around the house, because they could be being affected by all this. I might have to post that to Earl, that link. All right, well, we got it. It's quite a good one, because he does abduction cases. So who's out there with me? Anyone still? Or are they gone to sleep or just listening in the background? You still there, Renee? Are you still there? Or are you just going to come back and listen to it? Oh, well, on with the show. So, where did we get to? Because we're looking up, can it induce visions? And here we go. Make you see ghosts. Electromagnetic fields or electric shocks have induced specific hallucinations in people. Those who are exposed to them, even in laboratory settings, have caused people to complain about a feeling of people following them. talking to them, or watching them. This is not always an uncomfortable sensation. Some people interpret this presence as a malevolent, malevolent, violent. I'm not saying that right, am I? Presence, especially if it's coupled with a feeling of unease. But others say they felt an inspiring or confronting presence. Ghost hunters will sometimes say the reverse, that ghosts cause a high electromagnetic field, or sometimes that a high magnetic field will allow ghosts to appear. Nobody is sure yet what these fields do to ghost brain DNA. So that was quite a good article, that one. So it'd be good to see some videos or experiments on those. So let's see if we can find some videos. So implanting, I should bring it down the bottom. Implant image. Electromagnetic. Yeah, I suppose. Electromagnetic brain. See if there's any videos. So we need to scale it up. A font. For videos. There we go, I can read that now. Why people with brain implants are afraid to go through automatic what? Doors? It must be. Controlling epilepsy with a brain implant. So this is where all that research is kicking in. Implants and electromagnetic mind control. So someone's looking into that as well at the moment. That's the same as me. CNN special report on electromagnetic mind control featuring Josie Del Vito. Wireless brain implant could make telekinesis a reality. That was 2013. MT researchers developed wireless, non-invasive deep brain. And that's on a website, not Google. So let's have a look at this one here, Gizmo. I'll just get a drink. Yikes. What's that thing on top of the head there? So just zoom in. Brown University researchers have developed a fully implantable and rechargeable wireless brain sensor capable of transmitting neural data to an external receiver. Sounds like something from sci-fi. The system, which has performed remarkably well in monkeys and pigs for over a year, could eventually allow humans to control external devices with their thoughts. The purpose of the project was to develop a neuro interface device that could. I know this was being researched by military as well, and they probably funded it because they wanted a helmet sensor in the helmet of pilots to be able to think of what they want to do rather than actually have to use all their hands and whatnot. The purpose of the project was to develop a neural interface device that could eventually help amputee, spinal cord injury victims, and those living with severe neuron motor disease, like Parkinson's, overcome their physical limitations. Lithium-ion batteries. Well, you won't want that to explode and catch fire inside your brain. But there is new batteries being developed as well. That's probably a good one to cover as well. There's a variation in the ion battery design that some guys invented where you can actually pierce it and overcharge it and it won't burst into flames. But they're also looking into these carbon nanotubes and using it for batteries, charging layers of carbon. And they reckon you can charge up a battery in 5 minutes or 5 seconds, depending on how many amps it is. And it will replace all our old batteries and phones and laptops and make it not so hot and also much lighter. So that would be interesting. A brain radio. So it's got titanium, internal nesting coil for inductive link, ground plate, transmission board, battery, amplification. So what's it say? The device is basically a brain radio and transmits 24 megabits per second via 3.2 and 3.8 gigahertz microwave frequencies. So our Wi-Fi in the house is what, 2.4? So through external receiver, which is about 1 meter away, the signals are transmitted in real time. Who can move freely. So I guess I've put it into people that have got no legs or hand movement that are willing to be guinea pigs, I suppose. Electrodes were implanted on a brain. So I was just trying to skim. So BrainGate would be a kind of technology enable telekinesis. So I'll read that but scale it up. In particular, this implantable neural interface technology will greatly assist in the development of advanced neuroprocesses. Once refined and proven safe for humans, it could allow disabled people to move objects remotely with their foots. It would be kind of technological enabled telekinesis. Indeed, the project is very closely linked to the BrainGate initiative, another Brown University project that's working to develop brain interface technologies for the disabled. So if they can do that, if they could amplify it without putting electrodes into the brain, that would be their next step, wouldn't it? Like a helmet, like pilots wear. That also means you could control someone else. If they've got a helmet on and you're a transmitter, you could take over their limbs and make them like a I don't know, a killer maybe, sniper. Sounds all sci-fi, but looks like they charge it with an induction core. Was it the iron battery in it? Bit scary. Because iron batteries would need to be replaced, surely, because they only last a year on the phones. Oh, I was looking for videos, and I'll just go to the one I wanted. Let's do a search again. Trying to find one where they can plant an image in your brain. Because I know I've seen it on TV. Nano implant technologies, mind control slavery. Well, that device looked kind of chunky, but I guess I could make it, scale it down with improvements in technology. Mind control brain implants, targeted individuals. So it looks like some people have already got videos up. 2015. In 2009, I woke up in a puddle of blood with my skull cracked open. I had no memory of how the injury occurred. Phil A. So it looks like he's done some research on it. Suppose we could have a quick look at his video. Oh, yeah, I'll mute it. So it looks like it's a TED killer memory systems. So it's got various news clips cut together. Not the sharpest picture, but it's probably not 720. A 66-year-old woman's brain implant was shut off by a lightning strike, I guess. Well, that will do it. Artificial retina. Glasses send images to brain. That was in 2014. This shows how the technology is progressing. Using a camera to send images to the brain. It may sound like the stuff of sci-fi, probably. So, yeah. Public domain TV. A light switch for neurons TED Talk. That was where he cut it from there in the last video. Looks like it's a 4.3. Alright. Yes, it is, but it's been modified from a widescreen by the looks of it. Kind of reminds you of that, was it James Bond or Mission Impossible, where they had a glass eye? It was videotaping everything. Looks like the technology is a bit chunky and basic. "20 patients who have undergone surgery use this device. It has been about 2 years since the surgery, and Kathy comes for a checkup, I suppose. I suppose they only see black and white, or yeah, look, yeah, black and white. I suppose it's better than no vision at all. So who's out there? So we've got a few people join us. Must be getting on late now. It's 2 a.m. here. Must be like 10 o'clock in America. So I was trying to find the experiment where someone saw a picture of a landscape, I think it was. Somehow they were able to transmit it into the skull and bypass the eyes. Now, I remember seeing it on like 60 Minutes or 2020 or some show like that. But trying to find it on Google is another thing. RF chip implanted without consent. Mind control myth. There we go, the skeptic, 2004. But obviously, we've come a long way since then. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the Darren Brown, where he hypnotizes someone to actually carry out a shooting, and the guy doesn't remember. That's quite a good one too. And there was another documentary where they did it also with another test in America. I think it was ABC. And they got a man to walk outside and pull out a plastic gun to try and shoot someone to see if he would do it, because they said our subconscious would stop us breaking our moral code. But they found it wasn't the case. Let's see, Darren Brown. It's series 2. What do you call it? Brainwashing? Brainwash killer or something like that. Assassin, that's what it was called. So there's a couple of links there. Was the assassination for real? So I don't remember seeing that one. Pushed to the edge. Brainwash innocent members of the public. So what was that, Daily Mail? Let's have a look at that one, because first time I've heard about that. Years plus disgusting Darren Brown stunt that saw him brainwash innocent members of the public into murdering a man by pushing him off a roof. There you go. Remember how they were talking about the lone gunman, JFK stuff? So here we go. So this was no one. The first one was to shoot someone in an audience. I mean, who was presenting in front of an audience. But Darren, he would have a way, if they did push him off, they would capture him down below or something. Yeah, let's just have a quick read of it, I suppose. Darren Brown set up an elaborate hoax on a news show, Pushed to the Edge. Stunts or strangers led to believe they had pushed a man to his death. So it's not really a hoax then. US slammed cruel show on social media. Scam was part of Darren Brown's demonstration of power on social compliance. Following orders because someone in authority tells you it's the right thing to do. I never heard about this. Maybe it didn't make it to our country. But the assassin one definitely was real. Because I know they've done similar tests. This one here. It's a full episode, but looks it. I'll post a link to it in the slides. I've got the sound turned off so you won't hear it. So you just skim it. So basically brings someone on the show, I think, to make it look like they're using them in a show. But meantime, he's training them up to use a gun and stuff without him realizing. And at the end, let's see if it works. He's been given instructions to shoot someone, which turns out to be that British actor. What's his name? Slips from memory. But you'll see who I mean. This guy here comes up, starts doing Shakespeare or something. Here he is. He's hypnotized. Well, he's put him to sleep at the moment anyway. Then he activates him. And the other audience don't know what's going to happen. Not sure how he wakes him up. Maybe with a sound. I can't remember now. I think it's a sound wakes him up. And let's see if he'll shoot him. I think this was the day after. Was it cut there or what? Oh, didn't they play the ending as well? Can't remember now. Or did I miss it? Oh, here it comes, is it? I know, unprograms him. Where was the bit where he shoots him then? Oh, right there. So it must have happened before then. I wasn't watching. Or did I skip it? Come on. Where is the bit? I think he listens for a keyword from the play or whatever it is. Then he stands up and shoots. If I fast forward again, I miss it. Come on. Here we go. He's picking up the gun now. Taking forever. Here we go. Bang. Shoots it. Cat gun. I don't know if he was on target though. It looked a bit low, didn't it? So it makes you wonder if the CIA could have programmed Oswald to do the JFK assassination. There's another one too. I think it was ABC or something like that. Broadcasting. I can't remember what it was called now though. I should have looked it up. I have got written down somewhere. But it's a really good one too. And it backs up Darren's hypnosis. Probably called Hypnotize or something. Hypnotize? That's how you spell it? No, probably not. Serial killer. I think that's that one. Maybe it wasn't ABC then. In 2020 or something. Try Hypnotize killer. So what do you guys think out there? Do you think it's possible to hypnotize someone to kill? Or to imagine they see UFOs? Or see ghosts? Probably have to look that other one up, but I know it's out there somewhere. I wonder if I can search for it. I'll probably move on anyway. Hypnotize to kill, maybe. 60 minutes. DB2. See if they got something. CBS. Assassins come up again. How to commit suicide. What? Why's Google allow that on there? Cold and flu healing. Sleep in peace. Meditation. What's that got to do with killing? This doesn't even match my title. Had to learn anything 10 times faster. We could all do with that, I guess. Hypnotized guy's wife tries to kill himself with a belt. Oh, God. What's that from? Yeah, speaking of which, there were a few UFO suicides, weren't there? So you could even hypnotize people to kill themselves. It sort of branches out, this magnetic field stuff. And mind control. How to hypnotize someone on your first try. You want to give that a try, Renee? I suppose anyone that was around a hypnotist or someone like Darren Brain, you'd always be wondering whether he hypnotized you to do stuff. How I beat my insomnia with a cure from the 1930s. Self-hypnosis. Well, let's have a look at that anyway. It looks like I can't find that particular one. Let's see. Might be able to search for it. Give me a minute. So we'll just scale that one up. German self-hypnosis. So that was before World War II then. Let me see if I can find that other documentary. So 2:30 a.m. here. almost. So if there's anyone out there, just have a chat on the side here. While I do a search on the other screen. Not sure what keywords I'm going to use though. Maybe brainwash. Let's see. Oh, it might have been. Of a show I saw it on. Which one now? I know I've posted them in the past to my fan page. So it's another reason to follow, because I post all these cool things from time to time on Twitter. There's another thing on Royal Institution Christmas lectures where they did that thing with the magnet next to the brain, and they turned it on. The guy couldn't talk; he was talking gibberish. So it was quite interesting. So let's see if I can find it here. He also did a study on whether some people are more acceptable to be believing in God as well. And they found if you stimulate a region of the human brain, that you have visions of angels and also hear voices in your head, which is quite interesting. Still haven't found it, unfortunately. Shame when you can't find title. It was quite a good thing to watch though, so it's worth finding out what it's called again. I might have to flag it if I can't find it. Move on to the next thing. Probably looking in the wrong drive. Could be too. I don't know. Can't see anything. Sesame maybe. No, can't find it. It's a shame. I'll do one more search here. So what's this one here saying meantime? Would take me 5 or 6 hours to get to sleep. That sounds a bit like Robert. He has trouble sleeping. My immune system was shot. I lived on the edge. If someone had told me that I would find my cure in autogenic training, AT, a relaxation technique from 30s Germany with a nerdy name and rigid script that must be repeated several times a day, I would roll my bloodshot eyes. 2 decades into the insomnia, at the age of 30, I was waking up. I tried giving up coffee, sugar, and heavy dinners. Find your nearest at autogenictherapy.org.uk. Surprisingly, he didn't laugh out at his surgery, but referred me to an 8-week course at Royal London Hospital. Instructions credited by the Orthogenic Society. So it looks like you have to. They're not going to give it to you online then. This is how I found myself sitting with 11 strangers memorizing a script to focus on our bodies. So there you go. Looks like I can't find that file. It's annoying. So maybe if I searched the main link. Hey Renee, you're back. Where you been? You been watching? I've been trying to find a file for the last 5 minutes to be able to find it on YouTube, because it will be on YouTube. Because it's worth people having a watch. Hypnotize high school students. I bet that happens. Can I kill someone with hypnosis? Amazing demonstration by... And it won't tell us. hypnotized tries to kill. Proven. See what that comes up. And someone's asked the same question. 2018, January this year. Oops, small gang to read it. Yes and no. In general, you cannot hypnotize someone into killing themselves or anyone else. I think he's a bit out of date, that one, because we just read you can. However, there has been cases where in certain societies, people fully believe that witch doctors could put a curse on them. That would be a big no, unless you're hypnotizing a murderer in the first place. Again, they're out of touch. That's not true. Honestly, yes, it can be very easily once your victim is in a calm state. I agree with the previous answer. It falls under the basic rule of not being able to use hypnosis to force someone to act against their own moral code. But that's not true. Not true at all. We're not watching the same things I have. "10 deadly cases of hypnosis." Popular science. Can you trust popular science? Another one, a small font. First account linking hypnosis and death in the medical literature was in 1894. Well, that's a fair time ago. Was put into a trance and then fell from her chair with a harsh cry. No doubt she died from hypnosis. But he hasn't really answered the question there. Basically saying it's safe. What's that link say here? So we just read that one. Fell off a chair. Murder of Thomas Patton. What's that one saying? Lawsuit. One of the witnesses in the case was his neighbour, Silence Patton. Gray went to the living quarters of his farm Hant. MacDonald that Peyton was spreading rumours about MacDonald's wife, which provoked an argument between MacDonald and Patton. After the argument, returned home, Gary visited again and apparently hypnotised him, warning that MacDonald had to kill Patton or Patton would kill him first. Gary was also able to hypnotise MacDonald into having perfect aim with a rifle. which is basically what Darren Brown was trying to do, wasn't it? Both Gary and McDonald were arrested. Gray and McDonald, not Gary. Gray was tried first, found guilty, and sentenced to hang. McDonald, who finally admitted to pulling the trigger, was found not guilty because he was under Gray's trance. So there you go. What year was that? Doesn't have a year number. The death of Gerard, I'm not sure you say that. 1952. So what happened here? Mother walked down to the basement and found him hanging from a joist. His death was immediately ruled a suicide. A month later, Rosenblum's death was brought to the coroner's jury. Presented evidence that the young man's death wasn't a suicide, but instead a failed attempt at suspended emanation through self-hypnosis. Tried to stop his heart, did he? Suspended emanation. Hanging from a joist. So suspended emanation. So he hung himself, but wanted to prove that he couldn't kill him. Not sure how that works out. Lawyer argued that death was an accidental hanging while trying to levitate under hypnosis. But why would you have a rope around your neck? I don't understand. So that's a strange one. Blamed a hypnosis show. So what happened here? Blamed that she felt dizzy. Hours later, she choked on her vomit in bed. Was terrified at getting electrocuted and could have contributed to her death. On the evening of 1909, attended a show by hypnotist Professor blah blah blah. Placing the feet on one chair and his head on the other, then Everton stood on Simpson's stomach. We're seeing those kind of tricks. Problem came when it was time to wake Simpson. He collapsed and lay unresponsive on the floor. Doctors attended to him but was dead. It was revealed he had died of ruptured aorta. Ruptured aorta. What's that? A blood vessel, isn't it? Going to the brain. The doctor also said Simpson probably had been sick for some time. The hypnotist was arrested, charged for manslaughter. Murder of brought a young woman back to a palatial home. Blah blah blah. Short-time returned and attacked Betty. Couple fighting in the kitchen. Shot twice. So where's the hypnotist in this? Physicists argued that Adron wasn't responsible for murder because he had been hypnotized into shooting. Psychiatrist Adron was placed in a trance by the power of suggestion when the gun was put in his hands and he heard Betty's screams. So it doesn't mean that he was under hypnotist spell. Well, we won't read all those out. I'll post the link in the side anyway, if you want to have a read of all of them. And if there's to kill documentary. Though. There's something like 2020. Brainwashing to kill people is true. Tom Silver. Oh, here we go. Maybe it was Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel proves mind control assassin. If it'll open up. 2012. It probably was back in that day. This could be the one. Recent. Let's scale it up a bit. A recent Discovery Channel documentary proved that individuals can be mind controlled into carrying out murder, proving the so-called conspiracy theory that it's possible to create brainwashed assassins. So that was Paul Joseph Watson, InfoWars. What was the name of the documentary though? By alleged inmate of Batman shooter James Haynes, who contended that Haynes told him he was programmed to carry out the Aurora Theatre massacre by an evil psychotherapist. Curiosity, that's it. It was on that series, Curiosity. Isn't it the one that was hosted by that black man? What's his name? Does all the deep voices. Anyway, so we need to find that one. So now we've got the name. We finally have found the name. Unless there was another one. When you start doing research, you actually find quite a lot of stuff like this. Curiosity. Cool. Programmed, was it? Programmed to sing happy birthday. No. Programmed to kill. Here we are. Brainwashed to assassinate, it was called. So there we go. We found it. Finally. I knew we would. Oh. We want the video. Oh, it is a video. Is it? No. Tom Silver. That's not it. On the YouTube. Oh, it's probably copyrighted though. So we just type that in. And that'll do. Brainwash to Kill on. It's not on YouTube then. It's on, what's that one? Vimeo. I think that's the one. Looks like the street I remember. Yeah, that looks like it. I suppose you all want the link to it. Have a watch that one, it's quite good. Some of you might have seen it on. Yeah, there's a black man I was talking about. That went outside to kill. Oh, there you go. Was that when it happened? There he comes. It's brainwashed. He gave him the trigger. Was it? Gets the gun out. Programmed to shoot a celebrity. He'd be spotted by security guards by now, though. Bang, bang, bang. So there you go. They proved it. Yeah, they're hypnotizing them back into normal mode. Then they have to unprogram them. So it's quite a good doco to watch. Sort of reminds you of that Men in Black movie where they shine a light in the eye and people forget stuff and whatnot. So he's saying here too, which is what I told you about earlier. Similar documentary was also aired on Channel 4. The assassin, Darren Brown's attempt to turn an ordinary member of the public into a mind-controlled assassin with hypnotism and neuro-linguistic programming, which they call NLP. No knowledge of the act afterwards. Stephen Fry was the name I was trying to think of, which we just saw earlier. And they're talking about JFK as well. Assassination of Robert Kennedy. Record that he felt he was in a shooting range while he was carrying out the assassination. Batman killer James Holmes similarly described how he felt like he was in a video game. So there you go. Fascinating stuff, huh? What was the other subjects I was going to look at anyway? Oh, right. We'll look at something different now. Well, slightly off from the brainwashing. So, first of all, you want to see what kind of EMF you have around your house. So I don't know if an iPhone app EMF works. Now you get you've seen them for iPhones and also Android phones. So here's one here, Electromagnetic Detector EMF on the App Store, iTunes. The best apps for detecting things. Ideally, you want to get one of those ghost hunting ones. So here's some videos here, putting them to the test. Do they agree with probably professional meters? So let's have a look at this one here. How are we going for time anyway? We're going a fair on again. What's that, Rene? What's that, some kind of magician like Chris Angel, David Blaine, or Penn and Teller? Darren Brown, he's a, yeah, I suppose he is a bit of a magician, but he's also what they call mentalist. He's able to program people to do things and also read their body language, micro movements. Like he's like a living lie detector. So he can sort of hold on to someone, ask them questions where they hid a item in the house, and that he can detect where they're trying to mislead him, and he goes the opposite direction. He's got a few videos up where he does all sorts of crazy things with people. He goes onto a stranger on a train and he clicks his fingers when he's asking them questions, and they can't remember their own name or where they were going by the end of 5 minutes. So it's quite interesting stuff. But this is hardly magic. We're talking about real stuff here, and that they can program people to kill. So people saying they were hypnotized and can't remember shooting people may have been true. Wasn't there several people like that in America? Was it the one that shot another Kennedy? I can't remember what the name was now. So what's this one saying about the phone apps? Can't quite see it. So he's got it going on 3 different phones to see if they've all got the same readings. So he's holding up a magnet to it, is he? Let's put closed captions on and play it. But reading all the same thing, 2 of them are. Maybe not anymore. So did the app automatically launch something when it detected the magnet close to it or something? Lots of ads. So it's not detecting very well then. Looks like it launches again. So they all launched again when it detected the magnet. So I think what they do is they use the antenna of the phone as like a detector for magnetism and EMF. Well, I think Android phones are better at it. Skeptic stick. I suppose you have to go around and check it all out, I suppose. Does a spirit box or obvious to electronic device really work on ghosts? I don't know. I don't have one. But there is a guy that does tests on them. But I have talked about before, I think. There are a couple of Android apps to detect EMF for ghost hunting and for hazard protection. And what they say? 3 problems I have with this question. What proof is there that ghosts emit EMF? Yes, but not in a way that is likely to detect ghosts. Mobile phones are, by definition, devices that can detect EMF, which is electromagnetic field, since the ability to communicate depends on radio frequency functions and EMFs. So apps on a smartphone can, at least in a trivial sense, detect EMF and alter it when they send a signal. Unfortunately, mobile phones are designed to detect only specific frequencies from about 8 to 2.2 gigahertz, which are the frequencies of 2G and 3G. So unlike the software can turn them into devices that can detect general fluctuations. So that's the problem. They're saying. So they're likely not to be very useful for detecting when you're doing investigations on ghosts or alien abduction cases that they might be seeing things. You want to see if they've got a high EMF in the house that's making them hallucinate, which we talked about earlier. So, what devices can you buy? There's quite a few out there, though. Did you say something else? Nope. Okay. There's one called a K2, isn't there? They're used for ghost hunting. Not sure how much they are. Probably about $60, I know. The ghost hunting equipment. I think it's not just for ghost hunting. Yeah, there you go, $60. I was bang on the money. A2, and they had to put a coin underneath the button because it doesn't stay clicked on. You have to press it to keep it on. They put a coin underneath it to force it on all the time. Push tab to turn on. Push tab to turn off. I thought you had to hold it down. Perhaps they've modified it since. Detects ELF range 50 to 1 Hz and LF range 1000 to 20,000 Hz. So really want one that detects a whole range, really, or you can adjust it. That would be really cool. Suppose you type EMF meter, you'll get ones that electricians use. EMF meter. It's better because you want to know how strong it is. Let's choose that. So we've got a few here, ranging from $20 all the way up to $6.50. They look like K2s, or is that K1s? Because I've seen those ones on Ghost Hunting Paranormal. Maybe those other ones are more expensive. AliExpress. We were talking about that a couple of live streams back. What are you saying? Oculus 2. That's not an EMF though, is it? That's a speech thing. First laser grid. Well, that's actually quite a good idea. No one's actually thought of using a laser detector to detect if they're being abducted. So what range does this do? It's even cheaper now, $16. 17% off. Yeah, I should get one myself, really. Have a play with it. Can afford $16. One instrument with two uses. It can test the electric field and the magnetic field radiation at the same time. Well, that one goes up higher than the K2, 5 Hz to 3500 megahertz. So what's that? 3.5 gigahertz, I guess. So that's got a full range there. Bit better than the K2. Average. Problem with Chinese stuff, you don't know how long it'll last or how good it is. Well, there's a lot of people that bought it though. Where's the reviews? It's always best to read the reviews. I'll post it on the side if you want to look at that one yourself. Certainly 1/3 the price of a K2 anyway. Is it going to go? Did it go? I'm not sure if it's going to let me paste it. Oh, it's too long. Why is it too long? It's crazy. It shouldn't be too long. Oh well, I can't paste it. Let's delete it then. Buy them from ghost hunting. Yeah, could do a live ghost hunting. You reckon? Isn't Jack's already doing that though? I was trying to find the view link. It must be something here. But you can see there's quite a few alternatives. One that looks more stylish there, if it's a same device. Feedback 3. Well, it's got 5 stars. What'd they say? So a lot of people order it, only 3 have said something. Top. No one else said anything. Oh well. What's this one here? Handheld one. Well, just need to check something on the other screen. I think I've covered most of the topic I was going to do tonight. Visions, mind control, EMF. I'm doing some extras now. I thought more people would be interested in this stuff though. Especially being a weekend, you think more people would be on. What's the time now? 3. That's when few people dropped on last time. Radiation. So is that a Geiger counter? So that would be handy. They reckon you should check stuff you eat with and your food you eat with radiation, how much radiation's in it. Dosimeter. What's that mean? I don't know too much about that. So what range does this one do? 30 hertz to 300 hertz. Test bandwidth. And they're torn in different units here. Well, it's a very low reading here for hertz anyway. Electric field. What do I mean by that other term though? Radiation. Smaller than a flash drive, the dosimeter provides an instant readout. Readout on what? Is that the badges they wear in hospitals? Yep. X-ray. Have a look at that one. So what's the radiation in food called then? This is clearly X-rays and electromagnetic radiation. Dosimeter. A dosimeter is a device that measures exposure to ionizing radiation. There's 2 main uses for human radiation protection and measurement of dosage. Is it like what they use on nuclear meltdown sites? so you don't get too much exposure. Is that the same thing? I'm not too sure. So what the guide, I thought it was a Geiger counter for the other type of radiation. Here's your radiation and food. See what that gives us. Let's come up with the same thing here. Food irradiation. Radioactivity. So what they use to measure background radiation? The same thing to use background. Radiation is electromagnetic, I guess. Cosmic rays. The main source of background radiation. Natural sources of background radiation. Cosmic rays. Radiation that reach Earth from space. Rocks and soil. Some rocks are radioactive and give off radon gas. That's what I was talking about, those alien implants that materials actually can give off radio frequencies when they're radioactive. How to detect background radiation. Geiger counter, that's what I was talking about. A GM tube is a gas-filled device. When a high voltage apply creates an electric pulse when radiation interacts with the wall of the gas. So those other ones can't be to measure background radiation then. Sorry, what are you saying down the slide? How do we go up on this? Oh, that did it. Psychic remote viewing. Now that's something else. We were talking about a few streams back. We were talking about remote viewing. Film and Firesight. And check out the website and videos. Did you watch that one? Were you with us when I was talking about that one? Talking about Atlantis and what was it? Dyatlov Pass incident. How did you say that one? Dyat. Dyatlov Pass. Something like that. Dyoda Pass. That's probably a way to say it. Government was showing them what they saw was the moon. I'm not too sure what you're saying here. Psychic remote viewing. Yeah, again, it's on that Firesight. Did you watch that live stream or not? If not, go and hunt it down. It's quite a good site to watch all that sort of stuff on. So, looks like you need I wonder if AliExpress sell those then. Radioactive. So it's called a Geiger Mueller tube or probe. I reckon these would be expensive, so it can't be what the other one was detecting. I'm trying to copy that, but oh, that'll do. Do it in AliExpress. I bet some people will be a bit nervous with all the Japanese meltdown that happened in China. So what have we got coming up? So there you go. I knew it would be expensive. Marble radiation detector. What's that mean? The color of it. Be good to have one of those though, but man, it's expensive. Someone's selling it here for 50. It's not too bad. Do your Y. Do your own. Oh, there's the tube they're talking about there with the gas in it. So you can buy it without the cover, basically. It's the cheapest option so far. So you want to get an EMF meter and one of these. So if you, I suppose MUFON investigators would have both of them then in that case. What's this thing for your smartphone? I don't think that would be any good, surely. Hey, paranormal. Someone's woken up. Again, these guys show up about 3:30 a.m. Must be getting on in the US. Must be near lunchtime gone. So what's this smartphone add-on? Hey. So we've been looking at mind control and EMF and all sorts of cool stuff tonight. Seeing if people could be getting visions because of the electronic devices in the house. And apparently it's possible. So we're now looking at detectors to buy that you could go and check out and probably also use them for UFO investigations as well as UFO hunting. But we're looking at personal Geiger counters for background radiation, nuclear gamma X-ray. But the other one said it was doing X-ray too. So there's a little thing you plug in. Can't really see that doing much. A lot of people have voted high on it though, 4.9. So it detects X-rays. So that's why I'm a bit confused, because to measure background radiation, they talked about using a tube. So it plays sound. Must have some electronics in there. Smart lab. So what did the reviews say about it? Yes, it's possible these devices work. I used some of them on my investigations. Yeah, we're looking at professional Geiger counters, and the cheapest was $50. And also, where was it? Oh, that's the one we're looking at the moment. We're looking at some EMF meters for $20, $18, which did electromagnetic radiation from 5 hertz all the way up to 3.5 gigahertz, which is perfect. But the K2 we saw only had a range of 1,000 to what was it now? Something megahertz anyway, not gigahertz. So which gadgets you got there, Paranormal, then? Which ones do you use? K2? Or do you have a EMF meter? I'd probably get one of these ones here for proper radiation detection. It's got a kit set one that's $10 cheaper here, and you can actually see what it's inside, which is quite good. I suppose you could put it in your own box. Here's the tube. See if I can magnify it. Got the tube there. It's got its own magnifier thing going on. Let's see. What's it say on the tube? Can't quite read it. Wonder if you can open it up. It's got a few chips on there too. I was reading a website that said they bought a fry pan from China, and when they put their Geiger counter over it, it was off the scale on the meter. It was giving off so much radiation. They reckon they scrapped some iron from, or was it aluminium, from a radioactive plant or something like that on a scrappage yard, and they melted it down and made it into fry pans. So there's probably people out there with fry pans that are killing them, which is quite interesting and scary at the same time. It just opened then, I think. As long as I don't hover, maybe. What's it say down the side there? Geiger tube can be supported. So it needs quite a bit of voltage. But it runs off one battery. What kind of battery is it? 5-volt supply. So a 1.5 volt, 3 times battery. So it needs 5 volts. So you can make it up how you want, as long as it's 5 volts. One battery. GM tube, they call it. Geiger ruler tube, wasn't it? So that's proper radiation detection there. I don't think that one on the smartphone would be really good. So what was this ones we were looking at before? Since she'll come on. Yeah, we're looking at these EMF meters here. This one here talks about it can detect two types of radiation. And one of them is electromagnetic and X-rays as well, but I don't think it has a tube in it like the other one has. That's also 5 volts. Because X-ray is radiation. But I think the other one detects gamma. I think that's the thing. Didn't we read it somewhere there? That was a difference. Where was it going? Cosmic rays. Background radiation. I'll click on that one. So what's this say anyway? That's quite interesting. A GM2 gas-filled device. So what's that detect though? Gamma rays, is it? Alpha radiation, which is just sensitive probe, sensitive to alpha radiation, alpha emitting radiation, and then we got micrometer with sodium iodide detector, special plastic or other internal crystal. Input on energy. Portable multi-channel analyzer, sodium iodide crystal. Can identify and display the type of radioactive materials present. Yeah, it gets complicated, doesn't it? Ionization. Neutron REM meter. Helium-3. Similar to the GM tube. Radion detectors. Liquid goes on and on. Looks like a GM tube one would be the one to get. K2 is so cheaply made. I have one, but it's not accurate. Okay. But we just saw them, they sell them for $60. I think the cheapest we saw was $45. And yet the one from AliExpress sounds like it's even better. Where was it now? It was none of those. It was back one. I've lost it already. Bye. It was this one here. You have to look at the specs. It's only $16 too. I might actually get one to play around with it. But if you have a look at the specs, it sounds pretty good. .5 Hz to 3.5 gigahertz, pretty much. Electromagnetic radiation detector and magnetic field. One instrument, two uses: electric field and the magnetic field radiation at the same time. The radiation value is safe or not. You can use it in food, cell phone, computer, microwave, refrigerator. Electromagnetic radiation detector only. So that detects X-rays, and I think the GM tube detects gamma rays, but trying to get my head around it all. That's why you need both of them. Mark, he would know everything. G'day, how are you? A lot of Aussies coming on late. What is it there in Australia? It must be midnight for you, and it's 3 in the morning for me. Where's your wife? Is she in bed? GM tube X. See what we can find out about. See what the wiki says, I guess. These guys want to come on chat? I posted the link in my under the link to the channel, the Nets Hangouts thing. Just go there. Oh, I don't think Mark's in the list though. A message on Hangouts, then I can add you to the group. So when I post out, it's available. Sensing element of Geiger counter. Gaseous ionosis detector. Townsend avalanche phenomenon to produce electronic pulse. Yeah, but we want to know what radiation it's detecting. They said alpha. What's alpha? Is that gamma? We got alpha and beta, haven't we? So they didn't teach all this cool stuff in science at high school, so you got to find out yourself, I guess. GM tubes will not detect neutrons, since these do not ionize the gas. However, sensitive tubes can produce which either have an inside of the tube coated with boron, interact with the boron, producing alpha particles, or directly with the helium-3 fusion hydrogen. These charged particles then trigger the normal avalanche process. So we need to know what alpha particles are then, don't we? I probably used to know. Alpha particles. There we go, we're getting into real tech stuff now. Alpha particle. 2 protons, 2 neutrons. Alpha particles, like helium nuclei, have a net spin of 0. Radiation decay. When alpha particles emitting isotopes are ingested, they are far more dangerous than their half-life or decay rate words suggest, due to the high relative biological effectiveness of alpha radiation to cause biological damage. The alpha radiation is average of 20 times more dangerous, and in experience with inhaled experiments, up to 1,000 times more dangerous, or gamma emitting isotopes. So it's not gamma it measures then. Oh, I think it's too early in the morning to wrap my head around all this. So I think basically it boils down to you need one of those, one of these, and one of, where was it? One of these with the tube, which is this one here, if you want to pay $10 more with the case. I think I'd probably buy one already working. So what's all the tech specs on this then? Material inspection, environmental tests, radiology protection, radiopharmaceutical screening, beta gamma X-ray, detectable species. Beta gamma X-ray. So the other one only detects X-ray, wasn't it? Magnetic radiation. So it doesn't. That one says it doesn't detect alpha particles like the other one said it could. So I don't know. Confusing. Oh well. Probably enough on that one anyway, though. So that was pretty much all the topics I was going to cover tonight, actually. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything related to this? You want to come on the side chat and talk? Gets a bit tiring talking to yourself and reading the side chat. So what's Mark saying here? Mind control. Watch Fiona Barrett one day. Well, who is she? I did quite a good summary. If you've been watching, I don't know. It's 1:30 over there, is it? Okay. We talked about curiosity. I'm not sure if you've seen that documentary. What's that guy with a deep voice on it? I think he presents it. Freeman. What's his name? Freeman something? Freeman? Anyway, he's an actor as well. Is that the one you're talking about? She's talking about pedo there. Victim of mind control. She's an Aussie, is she? Or what? Got Australian, independent Australian. Royal Commission. Oh, well, we'll bring it up. Let's have a look. Abuse survivor. So how do they brainwash her? It's got the N thing now, one of those banned words, and that was another one banned probably by YouTube, so I can't read it out. Allegedly stalked by thugs who followed her home one night from her clinic to her remote property, circled her car. So where's the brainwashing here, though? Well, that one's been deleted. I didn't say anything about brainwashing there. But there has been experiments done. Also might be on Curiosity, where they separate the two people into red team and blue team, or separate all but one person, and they electrify them and get them to do all sorts of things. They sort of show that people can be sort of controlled in a group mentality to attack someone else. Sort of a bit like trolls on the internet, I guess. So you said she was brainwashed. I'll just type it in anyway. Brainwashed. CIA asset with training in brainwashing and torture techniques. Yeah. Yeah. Probably be on this site as well. Best to watch a video, like you say. Save a lot of reading. Yeah, there's a lot of reading there. Mind control, there we go. What's it say here? So, how about visions? EMF. Ghost hunting. EMF vision. Looks like it's a computer game. Radiation in your eyes. It's all fascinating stuff, though. I was trying to find that video of where they experimented on a guy, and you could see they had an image, like a computer image, like a house or something like that, and had him with his eyes blindfolded, and they transmitted the image into his head, and he described what they had transmitted to him. It's quite a good documentary. It was like 60 minutes or something. So, yep, we covered the Solway Spaceman last stream. You weren't with us, you missed out. It was a good live stream I did there as well. Totally debunked though, so go and watch it. Colin Firth. Yeah, I'm not going to cover that again, guys. Just go and watch the live last time. It's a good one. It was on Alien Greys. No one showed up though, I don't think. I think there was one person I was talking to. Experiment, maybe. I don't know. Experiment. Photo. Maybe image, I don't know. Photo to bring. Well, we know that you can control other people, but I think the experiments they'd done, they had to have a helmet on. Brain-to-brain communication. I was just trying to find that documentary. It's quite annoying when you can't find it. Scientists transmits thoughts from one brain to another. That was 2014. Scientists use brain imaging to reveal the movies in our mind. Thought prediction by neurons in the human brain. Previous science experiments. Oh, the poor mouse. What the hell is that? A sand flea. Eh? Looks horrible. After penetrating skin. Well, there's the flea there. So what's this one? Scientists let insect live inside her. Right. The sand flea, also known as a ginger flea, is pretty gross. It burrows permanently into the skin of a warm-blooded host. Like a human, where it swells, defecates, and produces eggs. Nice. Sounds like something from a sci-fi, what do you call it, Aliens. Before dying 4 to 6 weeks later, still embedded in the skin. Lovely. Their sex lives have been shrouded in mystery. She figured out the parasites most likely have sex with the females are already inside their hosts. Blood of a young mice rejuvenates old mice. Yep. That sounds like what was that sign? The strain? Is it the strain where they drink the blood? That old fella that was drinking liquid and gets younger again. The German fella. Can't say the N word. Pinpointing where fear lives in the brain. And we got sidetracked on gross things here. Interesting experiment on crows. Okay. Turns out crows don't forget a face. Up to 2/3 of the birds in the air would become upset when they saw a dangerous mask and started scolding, mobbing, and dive bombing. Okay. Back to the mouse. Zombie. So who's a Walking Dead fan? If you're smart, you already have a plan for the zombie apocalypse. Sporting ears made from scaffolded tissue seeded with bovine cartridge cells. So the growing ear replacements, yes. Well, apart from the first one, it didn't seem too bad or gross. Let's have a look at that one now. The toast. Yep. That's an English breakfast. Dad has that every day. Like my father. And he's what is he up to now? 80. So he's doing all right. And he's overweight. Scientists use brain imaging to rule movies in their minds. That sounds like what's that Arnie movie? Receive clip reconstruction for brain activity. Okay. Parrot, that's meant to be. So how are they doing that? With a thing on their head? So that's the opposite to what I was looking for. Planted an image in the head. And this one's actually looking at the image in the head. Well, that's kind of cool though. Looks like it plays. YouTube, is it? Can't see that being an elephant though. Can see those as people though. That's pretty good. Well, there you go. That was back in 2014. They've probably come a bit further since then. Latest experiments have solved as much more difficult problem by actually decoding brain signals generated by moving pictures. So it's a Japanese researcher, Mr. Shimoto. I don't know. I'm going to try and say that this time of morning. Brain activity, 100 clips. Signals message using fMR change. Yeah, but is it a big device they have to get into, or is it a little head-on thing? It's got a little play here, has it? No. Oh, yes. That's kind of interesting, though. Oh, that's a big thing they put on your head. So if they can shrink that down, which is probably what they're going to try and do, they might be able to read your mind. Anyway, you've got to show message. It's quite clever how they worked it out, though, from the signals that they're picking up back into an image. So that's a technical video. I'll post that one down the sides in case you want to watch it in your own time. Because I've got the sound turned off. And what's she saying here? You're talking about English breakfast now. Sausages. It's not good for the waistline, though. Apparently, they did a study in UK on English breakfast versus cereal. And our family never liked cereal. We hardly ever have cereal. We always was English breakfast. And that's what we lived on as kids, pretty much. English breakfast with a cup of tea. And anyway, they did the research and they found that the IQs of kids under the age of 12, I think it was, the IQs on average were like 12% higher or something. And they didn't get fatigued as much during the day than those that ate healthy so-called cereals. And then there was another documentary that came out, What's Best For You, English Breakfast versus Cereal, on a health BBC, I think it was, episode. And they found out that egg and bacon was the perfect breakfast. Kept your sugar levels constant. Of course, Dad knew this because he was part of he did his own experiment where he found his sugar levels, because he's diabetic, would go crazy with cereals, but if he ate a normal English breakfast, even with brown bread, that it would be nice and normal through the day. And he didn't have to have lunch either. He found he was quite full and could go through the day to dinner time. So there's a lot of benefits to eating bacon, pigs, and eggs, which some religious people will not eat, so they miss out because nothing beats a bacon sandwich. And you can probably find those documentaries actually talking about it and sidetracked online. Let's see if I can find it. BBC Best Breakfast or something. I think it was Horizon. Horizon. I just can't remember what it was called. No problem. You need to have at least one keyword. I don't think it was those ones. I think it was last year's ones. Truth about exercise. Oh, I don't want to click that one. I want to click that one. I think they found that eggs, when you have it with egg and bacon, the eggs actually have a lot of omega-3, which is good for brain chemistry and building. Oh, what did I click there? Lost it now, have I? Yeah. What is the time anyway? I think I'm gonna have to do a dash soon. It's the same time as last night. I did go to bed to 7 a.m. Let's see, English. Just it's IQ. Let's see if we can find that one anyway. Eating a full English during pregnancy can boost baby's IQ. There you go. But that wasn't the one, don't think. The effects of breakfast on behavior and academic performance. Studies. Really want just a summary. Oh, look at this. It goes into detail here. High sugar. That one's too much for the brain at 4 in the morning. It's funny how you can't find what you're looking for when you want to find it. Surprising ways you can boost your child's IQ. Eating ice cream for breakfast makes you more intelligent. Somehow, I don't think it's good for the waistline though. See, Mark, you got us sidetracked on egg and bacon now. It's annoying. Well, it's early in the morning now. You hate beans. I love baked beans, but then the side effects I don't love. It blows me up. Not all beans are the same. You've got to have Wattie's baked beans, which Heinz brought out. I found that the Australian baked beans sucked. But you've got to have Wattie's, New Zealand Wattie's baked beans, and the sauce is fantastic. I'm not going to be able to find it anyway. What was that one about the IQ though? Regular breakfast consumption is associated with increased IQ. Hey, I'm going to sleep through my breakfast. I won't be getting up till the afternoon now. That's the problem, being on live stream all night. BBC. Harassment, I think it was. See if I can find it. It's cereal. Truth about healthy eating, that could be it. Seems to ring a bell. That could be the one. Or it could be this one here. Scrambled eggs, mushrooms, and other vegetable. See some surprising truths about bacon and eggs. I see they got bacon and eggs here. Kind of making me hungry thinking about it. I think that might have been the one. That was good anyway. It was worth a watch. And this one here about carbs. Other posts. Here you go. He might have summarized it. Let's have a look. Superfoods. Yeah, it was about superfoods. I remember that. What's going on now? Is this the one that complains about ad blocker? I don't know. Truth about healthy eating. That could have been the name of it. Eggs when at breakfast. Scientists tested Weetabix, yogurt, fresh fruit, boiled eggs, and grilled bacon to see which breakfast sustained students for longest and gave them the most energy. They discovered there was no difference in the amount of glucose that was delivered to the blood between the three different breakfasts. There was no change in calories burnt by students eating three different foods. I tell you what, if you're diabetic, that's not true. If you eat Weetabix stuff, it will go up. Those who ate eggs and bacon for breakfast stayed fuller, that's what I said, for longer, and also consumed fewer calories at lunchtime. So there you go. Frying eggs isn't necessarily bad for you. By cooking up fried eggs, scrambled eggs, of course, depends what oil you use. We use rice oil, which is kind of good. Eggs don't absorb the fat. That's true. Boiling is the worst way to cook veg. Takes all the nutrients out, doesn't it? Vitamin C dissolves in water. Antioxidant-filled smoothies don't actually work. So there you go. So guys, I think I might have to wrap up again. Probably do a stream in a couple of days ago. But that's a good thing to end on, I think. What's the time? About the same time as yesterday, not 4:30 almost. So yeah, that was kind of lots of good stuff we covered and found out. Go and check out the links on the side. I'm just going to wind down now anyway. I'm pooped. Sometime I might be able to get up early in the morning and do early morning one, but I'm not really a normal person for morning person for normal hours, because I always did night shift and I've never got past being a night owl. So I'll just queue up for ending here. Thanks for joining us, and give Google an hour, I think it is, to add the front bit on to the video before you can watch the rest of it. It's quite annoying. Do like and share, helps me out, helps get more people on the side chats. Do comment as well, or add comments to the videos. Give us some more information or some ideas for future episodes that you want to cover as well. So good night, everybody.